Earlier this summer, one of my most anticipated figures this year came out and exceeded my expectations. Now, it's time for my runner-up to be judged. My second most anticipated release comes in the form of this 3-pack. Here we have the SH Figuarts Team Rocket box set. I guess this release was meant to coincide with the 20th anniversary of the Pokemon anime, and God do I feel old saying that. I don't usually talk prices in these reviews, but I really have to bring this up. The list price of this set is around $100. I got this on AmiAmi for $70, which is so much better. Even on HobbyLink Japan, you can get it for $80 or so. As long as you don't pick it up on, I don't know, Big Bad Toy Store, you should get a better value. And there goes my chances of ever being sponsored by them. Anyway, let's open these guys up and review them. Starting off with Meowth, since he's the least exciting of the three. His sculpt is very simplistic and he feels kind of cheap, but I can't really say that he doesn't look accurate to the show. I may say it's simplistic, but I don't really know what else they could have done here. He looks great. The articulation is another matter altogether. His head moves all the way around and limited up and down movement. His arms rotate around, but there's not really any forward or back movement. His legs are sculpted on so there's no movement there, and I'm a little worried to move his tail around. Meowth comes with one accessory, which is an alternate face to show him blasting off again, which we'll get more into later on. And that's it for Meowth. That's right, he doesn't really come with a whole lot of stuff, and he feels more like an accessory himself. But let's be honest, he's not the main draw here. Moving on. Next up is my favorite character from Team Rocket and the Pokemon anime in general, James. James is probably the best all-around figure in this 3-pack, which makes me very happy. In terms of his look, this figure is a near-perfect representation of how James looks in the show, and his looks don't do anything to compromise on the articulation and vice versa, which is the makings of a great figure. The only problem I have with his look is that his face appears younger than I remember him being. Maybe this is one of those weird 2D to 3D transition things, but his face just looks a bit younger than I think he should be. Now this next complaint isn't really about the likeness, but he is looking to the side, which I absolutely hate on figures, because it limits the ways you can pose them. Unlike a few SH Figuarts figures I have, nothing on James feels loose. Now, James comes with a few more accessories than Meowth has. First off, he comes with the same kind of blasting off face, which you put on like any normal SH Figuarts or Figma figure. You pop the bangs off, remove the face, and place the new one in. These faces look really fun and expressive, but I'll get more into this when we talk about Jessie. James also comes with a pair of open hands in addition to his regular fist hands. Here's my favorite accessory of the bunch. A hand holding a rose. James looks absolutely amazing with this displayed. All in all, James is a fantastic figure that I'm very glad to have in my collection, especially as a James fan. And last, but certainly not least, we have Jessie, who is just shy of being as good as James, but has a few issues that hold her back. First off, just like James, she looks really great, as if she jumped right out of the show, which I think is SH Figuarts' strong suit, unless we're talking about their awful one-piece figures. But here's where my big issues come in. Something just feels weird. Holding the figure in my hand and playing around with it, something's just off. I can't tell if it's the design or the articulation, but something is weird here. I know this is a very strange complaint, so I'm not going to harp on it very much. Unlike James, Jessie's look does compromise on her articulation. Her skirt in particular limits her leg movement quite a bit. So as far as accessories go, Jessie comes with open hands and fist hands just like James. Her unique hand is this pointing hand, which doesn't work since she's also looking to the right, but this hand is on the left. Why is this a problem? Because she can't point in the direction that she's looking, which looks really awkward. They should have either given her a neutral eye position or made the pointing hand for the other arm. Just like the others, she has an alternate blasting off face. Due to her hair, you have to slide her face in and out instead of plugging them in. Again, another very expressive, fun-looking face. And to complete the look, you have a stand that allows them to appear as if they're blasting off again. Yep, I said a stand. There are 3 figures, but only 1 stand. In order to have all 3 blasting off, you either have to buy 2 stands or borrow them from other figures. This was either a lazy or greedy move on Bandai's part. And by the way to miss an opportunity there, Bandai, to call them stand eyes. And finally, you can use this cardboard insert as a nice backdrop if you want them to pop out a little more. And that's pretty much it. I know I got a bit negative there towards the end, but this really is a great 3-pack, and fulfilled one of my desires I've had since I was a kid. Really good-looking, well-articulated figures of Team Rocket, who were and still are my favorite part of the Pokemon anime. The only things that could have made this a perfect release would be to include some Pokeballs, and come on guys, give us Ekans and Coughing. So if you're nostalgic for the Pokemon anime, or if you love Team Rocket as much as I do, I would absolutely recommend getting these figures. Here comes the hard part. Do I put these with my Nintendo figures? Or my anime figures?